Okay, this is what we're working with. Let's do a garden project together. It's early spring in Vermont, which means it's time to clean up the gardens and get ready for summer. This particular part of the garden has never been given much love or attention. So my goal with this project is to change that. There are some plants in this section of the garden that usually get lost in weeds, and my plan is to get rid of those weeds, put mulch around the plants that have been intentionally put in this garden, and just generally make it beautiful. All right, so that's kind of the first pass. I did a lot, 2 carts of weeds and leaves to come out of there. Next up, we'll be digging it up a little more, but found a rose bush, some daylilies. That's another rose, an azalea. Got a couple tulips coming in. This is a hydrangea. More lilies. And then just a rhododendron that's being protected from the deer because they're crazy. And a rugosa rose. So next up, a little bit more turning up the earth, and then we'll mulch it. And here we have the delivery of the mulch. Todd decided to go big on mulch this year and get a dump truck delivery. Obviously, this mulch is for lots of places around the property and not just for my little garden project. All right, so the garden project got delayed, or I would just say it's taking a while. We went on a trip, so spring kind of happened, and the weeding that I had done, although, I mean, I'm sure it helped, it's needs to get weeded again. So this is what we're dealing with now in that same part of the garden. You can see it behind me. It's gonna get weeded again and then mulched. And then we're gonna make a beautiful stone wall around it. Landscaping at its finest. So you can see that Todd did some good weed whacking. There's the rose and the rhododendron still being protected from the deer. And the lilies, that hydrangea, the azalea. Oh, there's my neighbor's dog. She is yelling for him to come and he's not listening. Yeah, so these beautiful hostas are taking over. They do a good job of weeding. Got 3 of those. Yeah, this situation needs to get worked on. It's gonna happen. It's good to have a project, you know? Cosmo's helping. So, while you're watching me weeding here, let me impart to you Deard's life philosophy when it comes to projects, otherwise known as the fine art of starting things and not finishing them. I wrote a blog post about this earlier in the year if you're interested in having my manifesto in written form. You can find a link to that post in the description box below this video. And you can also subscribe to my Substack and never miss a future blog post. Anywho, this is a 6-step process that I will share with you during this video. Let's start off with step 1, to the fine art of starting things and never finishing them. Is it nice and cool down there? Not looking. Hi. Step 1. Get started. First off, you need to start. Simple enough. Don't overthink it. Don't make a long-term plan. Don't even tell yourself that you'll finish it someday. Instead, just start. And start things all the time. Every time you get an idea that sounds awesome, start working on it right away. This will get you into the habit of starting and over the hurdle of doubt that is wondering how you're ever going to finish the thing. Who cares what is going to happen in a month or a year? What is important is that you want to start that thing, so do it now. I started this garden project along with this video because it sounded like a fun idea at the time. Step 2. Adjust as you go. It is likely that after you start going after your new shiny idea, you'll learn some new information along the way and need to make adjustments to your project goal or direction. This is fine. You can change course on your goals or projects as your inspirations shift and new information comes to light. There are probably going to be parts of the original idea that need to get dropped and others that can be expanded. Overall, it's great that you've started something and a blessing to have a project to adjust. Isn't step 2 fun? I'm definitely on step 2 when it comes to making this video. It was going to be a montage of me making this garden. Voila, that was it. A video of someone doing a creative project. But now it's kind of morphed into this reading of my project manifesto. This is kind of awkward because I shot all this footage first and now I have a slightly different goal for this video. So if this doesn't all come together as a cohesive visual audio experience, like a film with a coherent message, that is why. Step 3. End it when the time is right. It's also okay to just stop the project or goal or whatever you're doing at any time if you find out that you don't enjoy it. Perhaps it turns out that you don't like gardening. Stop. Don't waste your time doing things that you don't like just because you've started. If you don't like something, you don't like it. There are plenty of things to do in life that you do like, so drop your preconceptions of what you should like and try something else. Life is too short to do things you don't like. If a thing isn't for you, even if you thought you were going to be that homesteading garden girl, don't let yourself get worked up about it. Don't you actually want to be the girl that you are? The answer to that is yes, by the way. I don't care if you're not into the hip or trending or smart or intellectual thing that you think you should be. I want you to just be actual you. That's who we need around here. All right, this is where we're at now after a lot of digging and weeding. Still gotta take that cage off the rhododendron and get in there. But I feel like it's looking a lot better. And next up, I'm gonna hoe it, I think. Try to really get a little bit more of the roots out. And then I'll be ready to mulch. This is a really bad video of me one-handed hoeing. I'm much more effective with 2 hands. I'm excited to see how this turns out. I get rid of all these weeds. Ta-da! The rhododendron has been weeded. Look at this. It's still not the healthiest looking rhododendron, but it's better than it was last year. Without the cage, the deer had just eaten the whole thing. So this is much better. And then, yeah, next up, mulch. Step 4, give it some space. What about resistance to goals and projects that you actually do want to do deep down, but you're giving yourself an out because it isn't enjoyable 100% of the time? Well, sometimes it's hard to know if you're in resistance or if you're going after a goal that isn't really for you. In this case, I would give it some space. Drop it for now. Go on and do something else. Give that goal some room to breathe and check back in on it later. It is fine to take a break from something and come back later, and remind yourself that this is totally okay, because it totally is. Then, when some time's gone by, check back in and see if you still feel drawn to that old project or if it was just a phase. Be totally okay with it if it was just a phase. It's not a waste of time. Don't go there. If it turns out that the goal is still calling to you, get back into it. Don't stress about the time you spent doing other things. You needed it to get clear on your desires and intentions. That wasn't time wasted. You don't have to be in a rush about everything, especially when it comes to things that you love and enjoy. If you give your project space to come into creation in a process of love and intentionality, whatever it is that you create is going to be a whole heck of a lot better than anything else you rush through because you thought you had to do. When you give your goals space, they have room to develop and evolve, or go silently into that dark night, never to be thought of again. Good riddance. Yeah, so I gave this project about 2 months of space. Not really so much because I didn't want to finish it, but because it just wasn't a priority. Luckily, things have shifted a little bit now, and I have time to work on gardens and videos again. So this moving of the mulch thing is tough. It's a little hot. Maybe a little under the weather today. It's Wednesday, but it's looking really good. And I kind of had this desire to say, like, why am I making a video about this garden? I mean, mostly to get this video of Cosmo, I think. I mean, he's adorable. I think there's a lot of bugs in there crawling around that he's excited about. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. One is that these plants were here. All of these plants were here, and they were just buried in weeds. And that kind of goes into the next reason to do it, is that it's a small project, a small piece of these 5 acres of land that I can kind of care for, spruce up, nourish. That feels good. That feels good. I won't say that it's under control, because I mean, it's still nature. It's not like under my control. It's something beautiful and small. It's like doable, something doable. And it's good to have projects like that. Something small that you can actually accomplish, but big enough that it feels like, wow. Like, this is a wow. I mean, it's not a wow quite yet. There's still more mulch and then the rock wall, which I don't know if that's gonna happen this season, but it'll happen eventually. And it feels good. It feels good. All right, it's the next day. I'm already on load 3. I think it's actually only gonna take 4 loads. Anyway, I'm dirty, there's bugs, and Cosmo's with me, and we're mulching. Day 2 of mulch, and look who's here. Hi, Perry. I just gotta do this one little spot. I think 1 heaping cartload will do it. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but not like a downpour, so I will do that after work tomorrow. Good boy. All right, it has been months. It's been the whole summer. The whole summer has gone by. I have not finished the garden project. And as you can see, it needs to be weeded again, which, you know, not the end of the world. There's always going to need to be weeded. So what I'm gonna do today is weed it. Let's see, it's been about 2.5 months since I did it last time, and honestly, it doesn't look as bad as it would if I hadn't done all of that intense weeding before. So, you know, it could be worse. And then I'm gonna work on the rock wall. So here we go. Just giving you an idea of where we're at with the weeds. You can see up here that Todd has brought me some rocks out of the woods. So yeah, this part's bad. This probably needs to be weed whacked. And yeah, as you can see, what the deer helped me a lot with these hostas, because, you know, who likes to have leaves on their bushes? It's just stalks is great. Step 5. Be okay with not being a finisher. Be okay leaving half-finished projects strewn throughout your past. This is the most important key to starting things and not finishing them. Don't be critical of yourself for this type of behavior. There's this cultural norm or standard in our society that says that following through and reaching your goals is some kind of moral value that defines a person. This belief is deep down within your bones. You think that in order to be a good person, you have to be a finisher. People who don't finish what they start are morally bankrupt in some capacity. I'm just going to say no to that. No, definitely no. The new rule is that it is beautiful and upright to go after what calls to you and check it out. If it turns out that that idea is not one you want to continue pursuing, you put it down, don't finish it, and move on to the next thing. No big deal. There's a call here to not take life so seriously. A serious person finishes everything they start and is therefore respected by the group. But for what reason? This feels like something tribal and ancient when sticking with and protecting the group was the most important part of survival. But it isn't like that anymore. The things that people judge us for not following through on aren't necessary for the survival of the tribe. People are just being judgmental and cruel to keep us trapped on a path out of their personal need for certainty and stability from their surroundings. There is no certainty. We are constantly in a state of change. The key to starting things and not finishing them is to realize that the world of one day is not the world of the next. What was the goal, the mission, the plan at one point is not going to forever be that way. If we don't take things too seriously, if we hold it all loosely, then we don't suffer when things change. We see a new opportunity to start something and we rejoice in that instead of dragging our feet because we didn't finish the last thing. Spoiler alert, I don't actually finish this garden project. It gets to a good stopping point and I'm like, that'll do. Okay, some real talk. That was a struggle. I started weeding and I was like, oh, I don't want to be weeding. Like I don't feel like weeding. Don't feel like it. I did about 45 minutes and that's gonna be enough for today. I actually decided that I wanted to just start doing the wall today because that was gonna make me feel good. And I got this little bit of it done. Well, I don't know if it's done, but I did this little bit of it and it's very exciting. And I did a lot of weeding. I still have a big mess to pick up down there of things I did weed. And obviously more weeding to do here and over there, more rocks here, another pile of stuff here. You know, I'll probably work on it again tomorrow, just like 45 minutes right after work. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. When I look at it from different angles, it's gonna be so cool. Yay! Another day. I realized when I started making this video, my concept was that it was just me making this garden. And as time has gone by, it's more like what it's like to do a project. So I feel like this video is going to be very all over the place. So that's why. It's a couple of days since my last video. Yesterday I just picked up a few of the weeds and stuff, and today I'm going to finish the weeding of that part and finish putting the rocks that I have already piled up along the edge. And I think that's basically going to be the end of project for this summer. But I think I'm going to download a new book onto my phone because one of my struggles last time I was weeding was that I was bored, and a good book can certainly help alleviate boredom. And then I'm going to get out there and get this thing as done as it's going to get. And finally, step 6, let it be done. Let me end with a final thought about starting things and not finishing them. A lot of the time, the project is actually finished and we just don't realize it. We want to put one last touch on it to make it perfect. We want to edit it one more time. We want to shine it up a bit and make it really gleam. Listen, the thing is done. It might not be perfect or gleaming, but it's actually done. What we're really doing here is delaying. The push to start something new is here, but instead we're ignoring it because change is scary and hard, and we want to keep working on what we know. Or we're perfectionists, and we can never say enough is enough and move on to the next thing. Here are some true words for you. Nothing is ever really perfect in this world. And that's the beauty of it. Let it be what it is. Recognize its quality of never really finished and move along. It is fine the way it is. And this garden is certainly fine the way it is for this season. All right, y'all, here we have the finished garden that you ever did see. So I used all of the rocks Tata brought up, put them along there. Obviously we need a lot more rocks because I haven't done all down there and all the way around and then here. And it starts up again there. So just to give you kind of a touchdown on where the rest of the garden was, this is the garden that's been here, been better weeded for the last couple years since I've lived here, is at this moment, look at this. This thing is overgrown, especially in the roses, because it is hard to weed in there with the thorns. But, kind of gives you an idea of how the other side really wasn't that bad. But I now am kind of motivated to get this side weeded and then find more rocks to continue this wall. This is awful. This needs to get weed whacked. But yeah, this is the section that is done. Project, I'm gonna call it complete for this year. This is like the beauty of landscaping. Yeah, the beauty of landscaping is that it's never done. Well, perhaps you could get done with the scaping part, but the tending to the plants, that's never going to end. As much as this project is, say, done, it's never going to be done. Because every year I'll need to weed this at least twice. Obviously it'd be better to do more, but there's 5 acres to tend to here, so you can't just tend to one small spot. Yeah, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. One more look through. Maybe next year we'll do an update if I find more rocks, and I'd love to put in some ferns. Find some ferns in the woods and put those in. So that's where I'm going to end it with the project. I hope your projects are going well, or that you've learned something useful, a small tip in this project management video, and I'll see you next time. This is just a little tour of the whole patio garden after spending some time weeding it over the weekend. Epilogue to the video. You can see we got it all weed whacked, and then I weeded inside where it's mulched. This is the new section with the new wall, and it looks awesome. Yay!